What's up, party people? It's your boy Midwest Tour Review here back again. Well, I'm back out in the shop for a little bit. Man, I had a terrible migraine today. And it took me out. Like, I had some other plans to do some stuff around the house and whatnot, some more videos, but man, I was hurting for certain. So needless to say, that didn't happen. I went inside, laid down, took about 15,000 Excedrin migraines, and I'm just now to the point where I feel like I want to do something, meaning that it's not that I'm not in pain, it's just that I feel better now. So that being said, I decided that I would come out here and hang out in the shop a little bit, maybe do some video recording. I don't even know if this is going to get posted, so we'll have to see. But I'm just cleaning up all the crap from my earlier video today on the mower deck. As you can see, all of this old grass and weeds and sticks and shit that was left on the mower deck had to come off because I was starting to have some issues with the belt, the rubber belts on the mower. So that's good for now. We are, for anybody who's never watched this content before, welcome. And I am Midwest Tour Review, and located obviously in the Midwest, and I make content over tool related content as well as shop related content now that I actually have a shop, and whatever else that the mood strikes. So I am not a mechanic. I am a mechanical engineer, although I don't practice engineering very much anymore due to my current position I've held over the last 5 years. So I am more of an executive manager at this moment in time in my life. But I do like tinkering. I've built a couple trucks. I built a car. And when I say built, I don't mean like frame off restoration. I meant that I bought something that was no longer functioning, and I returned it to a functioning status and then sold that vehicle as I no longer needed it. So I'm gonna race the garage door. Here's my OBS Chevy. It is a 96. It's got 208,000 miles on it. I basically tore this truck apart. It belonged to my father-in-law, set out in his field for a few years. I purchased it for $400 from him, and I began I think 6 to 9 month process of rebuilding it. So everything was rusted out. All the quarter panels, floorboards, rocker panels, cab corners, fenders, truck bed, portions of the frame, and I tore all of that out, and I had the notion to build it. Let's see, my brother-in-law is contacting me on my other phone. I had the notion to yeah, he wants to go ride motorcycles tomorrow. Anyway, to rebuild it. Hang on, Shop Cat. To rebuild it from the ground, not from the ground up, but rebuild it from using salvage yard's parts. So I went to the local salvage yard. I pulled everything apart, and I did that primarily so I would learn how to. If there was anything I needed to know, it was better to learn on a donor vehicle versus the one I'm gonna own. So, but we got her built back tough, and yeah, so I love her. Then I've got a little GMC Canyon out there. Beautiful sky tonight out my farm. That's my GMC Canyon out there that don't know what we're gonna be doing with that. There's my Impala LTZ that I drive every day for work, and my wife's little hybrid electric. We used to have like 7 or 8 cars. We since then have sold a good number of them since we moved to the farm, which is kind of opposite of what most people do. But I sold them. I got tired of them. of having so many. I had a 68 or something. I don't know what year it was. 74 Super Beetle, 68 Super, I don't know. It was an old one. And then I had like an Expedition. I had a BMW that I had. The BMW is really cool. I built that one. Bought that car for $300. Sorry, I gotta give the shop cat some food. He's fussing over here. He's 22 years old, guys, so we have to keep an eye on this old guy. 22. But that was a cool car. Oh, shoot. My cat's looking like, man, what are you doing there, dude? There you go. So, that's Shop Cat. Let me see here. So, yeah, I did that one and got that going, and then had it for a few years, and then we sold it. So that was cool. So we're gonna do another one. I am working on a Mac 1/4" drive air ratchet. It's just one I had in my storage bin one day, and I found it during the move, and I thought I would try to rebuild it, and it's become more of a hassle than it is a winning project, if you will. What is he saying now? Okay, I don't know. Anyway, so what are we gonna do tonight? I don't know. We're 6 minutes in and we haven't even talked about it. So, you guys want to do a toolbox tour? I don't know. We could do a toolbox tour. I don't have any major projects right now. So, all right, let's talk about it. So in my shop area, everything's kind of conjumbled. I got my bike over there, got my press, welder, snap-on roll around seat with the doors and creepers, and my 3/4" drive set, which I have no clue what's going to happen to it. Snap-on roll cart over there, Matco stool, which is being used by my shop cat right now because it's so cold. He has a heater and all that kind of stuff to stay warm. And there's also a rabbit in there too. Yeah, it's farm life, man. That's a longer story. But the shop is a 40 by 60 shop. We still have all of that to go through, plus more. We're slowly getting moved in, and so then you have all the crap here and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of work. We haven't been here but a few weeks, and we are slowly working it down. My travel bin here, which is probably has, you know, I don't know, 7 to 10 grand worth of tools in it. This is what I carry like when I go to junkyards and do all of my junkyard work. Carry that with me. And then this is my 80-inch. It's actually 60-inch plus additional 20-inch for the side locker, but it's a Husky box. People say, man, you know, when you look inside of it, you're gonna say, well, why don't you have a Snap-on or a Matco or a Mac or Cornwell? And I just haven't pulled the trigger on one of them. It's not that there's anything stopping me from getting a professional. I did have a Matco Jamestown 773 professional series cart. I ended up selling it, but I did have that. And then I cheapened up and I bought this guy here. My philosophy is that even though I'm not a mechanic, I see put your money where your work is. And your work is in the tools, not in the toolbox. The toolbox is nothing more than a purse for men, if you will, that houses stuff that you need. Whereas the tools is what actually makes you money. No one gives a shit about your toolbox when they pull their vehicle in for you to work on. They care about the tools you have, that your tools are going to allow you to get the job done within a timely manner, not be breaking and snapping, and you have to wait for your dealer or Harbor Freight to replace your tool. So they care about the quality of your work and the tools you use to do that work, not your box that you use to house the tools to do the work. Just my opinion. So I believe you should spend your money on your tools and not your box. Doesn't mean you can't get a nice box. It just means that when you're starting out or you're trying to build your game, you know, you start with the tools, then you buy the box, and then that's how you do it. You know, Americans always fuck shit up, and we always do shit backwards. You know, you buy the box and get an $8,000 box, and you got Harbor Freight tools filled into it, and you make an argument. Oh, well, it's because Harbor Freight makes tools just as good as Snap-on, Mac, Cornwell, everyone else, and we all know that's bullshit. So the real reason is that you couldn't afford to buy the tools, more than likely, the nicer shit. And so you went and got the box because it makes you look good, but yet the tools inside are not, you know, of standard that you should probably have for the work you do and the reliability on those tools. So that's my little rant. But in this box here, this is like I said, 60-inch box. It's stacked full with the best stuff that the world could offer. It's got this, everything in this drawer you see is either Snap-on. 90% of it is Snap-on. I would say 85% Snap-on, 5% Mac, 5% Wright tool, and then the balance being other, still higher end stuff. So we are showcasing the Ulsa tool. Shout out to Ulsa tools, the 3-row trays. It's got you can get them in half, 3/8, and quarter. I was one of the first people to get the access to the trays. And as I've been bragging in the past couple days or whatever, the reason that is because I was part of a group of people who had reached out to Ulsa Tools to champion this design here. So I mean, that means that I said, hey, you guys should come out with the 3-row. Here's what I think you should do with it. Here's the improvements you should make. And I think I was one of the very, very, very first, if not the first person to ever push them to do it. So over the course of about a year or so, they ended up getting it done, and then they sent me the first set, and we were the first channel to actually do a video on the 3-row socket organizers. And we're going to continue supporting Ulsa Tools because they stand by what they do, and I enjoy working with them. So so everything in here is higher end stuff with respect to the tools. Snap-on, these are either Snap-on or Wright tool. This is a Wright. And the reason why I got a lot of Wright tools, because number one, they make a much better impact socket than Snap-on does. Let's be honest, right? They do. I mean, I don't care who you are, what argument you try to make with me. The reality of it is Wright tool impact sockets are way better than Snap-on. And I think Mac probably beat Snap-on in some regard as well. But here are my Wright tool sockets. And I think, like I said, there's the Snap-ons mixed in. You can pretty much grab it, and you know you're going to get a higher end tool. Doesn't matter what you grab. That's what it is. And then what you see that's missing is what I don't have. So kind of these trays are awesome because it does show you what you need to get. The question becomes, do you need to get it? So, you know, like 10 to 14, I can just pick up 3/8 and do the same job. I don't necessarily need a 1/2-inch drive 10mm socket. Maybe I do, and if I do, it's probably in this other Ulsa Tools socket organizer here, because this thing has a gargantuan. It's got a lot. It's got a Frankenstein version of sockets in here, so it's got a little bit of everything in there. Then 3/8 drive stuff here, and it goes deep. Oh, let's go back. So this is deeps, mid-length 1/2-inch drive, and shallow. And then here in the 3/8 drive, it goes deep, and then mid-length, and then shallow. And I don't have a lot. You may say, well, man, you're missing a lot of sockets in that 3/8 drive shallow set. And yeah, that is true. But the reality of it is this is a whole set here. These are SK chromies, and they're all the way up from 6mm all the way up to 27. So if I wanted to, I could throw those in there, but I don't want to, so I do so. So I got those for shallows. I've got these Snap-on sockets for shallows. These are mid-lengths. Those are shallows. I think there's another set somewhere in here. Oh, I got those shallows there in my Capri. So I got a lot of shallow sockets, so I just didn't feel the need to fill that tray in. And then in terms of 1/4-inch drive, which is probably the best looking tray of all of them, is Deep's mid-length. And I guarantee you won't be able to find these. These are Snap-on mid-length 1/4-inch drive impact sockets. They don't make those anymore. They do make them in chrome, but they don't make them in impact. And then lastly here, shallow. And these are all Snap-on there. And then we have our Capri. Shout out to Capri Tools. I think these are, I pay for these. I'm a partnership with Capri as well, and I do stuff from time to time to review products for them. There's no ambiguity about that. But I did buy these super shallows, and I bought these because I had the super shallow, the stubbies and 1/2 inch drive, which I never used, and I figured I would use these more often than I would 1/2 inch drive, and so I bought that set. There is a full set of snap-on swivel 1/4 inch drive sockets here, which are stupid expensive, but I do have some. And then we have a set of Mac Impact 1/2 inch drive and a set of Mac Deeps chromes, and those are 3/8 drives. So things are stacked. And then we have our snap-on shallow or stubby swivel sockets here. I got an awesome deal on these. This is why I have these. And then I have the standard shallow swivels. We have our metric Allens. We have our 1/4 inch drive pass-through sockets here. We have our snap-on or stubby sockets on 3/8 drive. So there's another set there. And we have a set of metric chrome swivel snap-on sockets there. We talked about the SKs already. Let's go here in the middle. We have all these are snap-on, and I think there's one set of Cornwell. No, one set of Mac, but these are either Mac or snap-on, and they're all swivels. Everything. Oh, and then this set here, this impact set here is Wright tool, but these are all different swivels in either metric or SAE. And then we have a couple head bolt sockets here, or drive line, depends on what it is. A couple random drag link sockets, CV axle socket wrenches, couple spark plug sockets there, set of metric impact or SAE impacts. I don't even know why I have these. I don't know. That's weird. They're Wright tool, but they're just hanging out. This tray here is also Tools tray. It's a socket organizer, I think is what they call it. But basically, this just houses like all the randomness that I get. If you follow my channel, you know that I had a very awesome opportunity to buy out a lot of tools from a retiring snap-on dealer, which is part of the reason why I have as much as I do have. And as a result of that, I have a lot of extra stuff, you know, just things, right? I've done a lot of selling, a lot of getting things into the hands of other mechanics out there. To try to, you know, pass on the good fortune. We did that for about 2 years, and a lot of you have already bought tools from me. So I was like the snap-on dealer of Instagram. But yeah, so it's got a bunch of random stuff on here. So we have, you know, e-torques in both impact and chromes, just because you need to have both, right? We have swivel sockets. We do have a 10 millimeter. We talked about that earlier. Here's a 10 millimeter 1/2 inch drive universal. We have extensions, locking, and standard. I built my own 10 millimeter essential set. You know, Snap-on sells one, but I built my own, so that's pretty cool. I did it for, you know, a fraction of the cost. So we have it's a little bit of Matco in there, a little bit of Mac. We have magnetic, we have twist sockets, we have thin wall, we have impact swivels, we have, I don't know, that's another, I think it's 11 millimeter, and then so on and so forth. So I have a full 10 millimeter essential set. I tried to remember what that was. So that's pretty neat. A couple hex and torque sockets and stuff like that that are commonly used. And then the same thing continues here. And then keep in mind, this is all Snap-on Mac and Wright tool. There's nothing else in there. Snap-on long torques, a couple Allens here, metric, and then we have some more shallow magnetic sockets, and we have some cheaper. These are Castleman. This is one of the cheapest brands of things I have in here. So I take that statement back. That's just everything's high end. That's not the case. I do have some cheaper stuff in here. We'll talk about that when I remember it, because I've just got these not too long ago. But I bought these triple squares just to have them. Really, I think it was like $8 on Amazon. That's why we picked them up. Then we got some random hex and torque sockets here, more stuff here, more stuff there. twist sockets that are snap-on, more snap-on swivels, and other random sockets. And I think this is a set of Wright tool deep swivels. These are awesome. These are some damn good sockets. Yeah, these are great. I used the mess out of these over this past year. Like, I really used them like big time use. I'm not talking about like a little bit of use here and there. I went to town on those things to make sure that I could stand behind the Wright tool name. And you can tell we beat on them, and they held up every bit of the way. Sorry, it's raining out there now. Then we have a bunch of like axle nut sockets, lug nut sockets. We have these are for my motorcycle. This is a nice little set. It's a 7-piece stubby metric set from 3 to 10. And basically you fit that on a 13mm wrench, and then there you go. And I got that for that bike there. It's a metric bike, and I can get and take the seat and cowls and stuff like that off without an issue. Another random socket rail, the Lyle socket, tap sockets. And then we have our SAE side here, and the same thing applies: 1/2 inch, 3/8 and quarter. And then we have our E-Torx here in Snap-on, our little SAE set from Snap-on, Allen's mid-length SAE impact, mid-length metric impact, more impact sockets and quarter. And then we have a whole bunch more of this is a whole set of metric or SAE chromes, full set. It's SAE set deep. And then we have another set of shallow, these are Sunex, the stubby Allens. So 12-point Snap-on, 12-point 1/4 inch drive. I bought this set for $50. And we have a set of Wright tool 1/2 inch drive 12-point. So that's the socket jar, I think, for the most part. See how long that took? That's a lot of tools, man. Yeah. Let's see if we can get through this in like the next couple minutes. Ratchets, all Snap-on. 1/2 inch drive over here, 3/8 drive up there, quarter. Well, these are like 1/4 inch drive bodies with 3/8 drive heads. You know, so with the Apex organizer 3D printed organizers. And I have one cheap thin ratchet here. We're going to talk about that in another video, so I'll take that out. And then these are all like the flex heads, locking and non-locking. And then we have more 3/8 drive. These are like the older stuff. I like to collect some of the older things and I restore them. And so I kind of got a little bit of different ones here and there just over the years. I've sold some of these off this past year, and then I did keep some. And I didn't even get a chance to even use this one here. I gotta find a time to use that. 1/4 inch drives here, even some more obscure stuff. And then like a 1/4 inch drive essential set. This is one of my favorite sets here. It's got everything in there. So it's got a set of metric 1/4 inch drive sockets. It's got a flex head ratchet, a standard ratchet, bunch of extensions, a brake, even a 1/4 drive breaker bar, because when you need to have that with you. That's the essential tool there. And yeah, so everything's in there. Only thing I don't have is a swivel, and that's just a little 1/4 inch drive set, and it's an original Snap-on case, KRA 229. Because people always ask me like, what are some of these case numbers? We have a couple of them. Third drawer down is kind of like the randomness drawer. It's got everything in here. It's got Allen's and Torx and Cornwell, and these are the best adjustable wrenches out there in the market, in my opinion. Flint drive ones. And I have that even down to a small 6-inch one, I believe it is, or 4-inch one. And then just random other stuff and precision tools and nut drivers and taps and Snap-on tape measures and more extensions and serpentine belt tools and flashlights of all types. This is one of those screwdriver pouch sets. Yeah. Down here is just all my batteries for my power tools. You maybe say, oh geez, that's a lot of batteries. Well, you'll see why here in a bit. We're not going to go through the side locker because we won't have time. Wrench jar, all snap-on, with the exception of that, which is Mac. Anything from double box ends to 45 or 30 degree offset wrenches up to 32 millimeter. Our Flink Drive Plus, standards, stubbies. Oh, and these here are, these are Facom. Forgot to mention those. And then ratcheting, some with the selector, some without, reversible and non-reversible, I guess is the best way to put it. Screwdrivers, vintage stuff, you know, like the old flip blade, square flip blades. I did sell off a couple of these, thinned out the herd a little bit, but I did keep a couple for myself. These are very, very hard to find and very, very expensive when you do. And I've not seen anybody with this color here. So, yeah, screwdrivers. Pliers, all Knipex, Snap-on, Mac, and a couple van pliers. My Mass Fabricator ballistic grade wrenches. I do have a set of pliers that are out somewhere. Oh, they're up here. Okay. Different other additional pliers here and whatnot. These are all the old Snap-on ratcheting wrenches here. They're all Snap-on. Snap-on double box end wrenches there. These are Blue Point ratcheting. This is a set of metric short wrenches. I keep them down here because I have two sets of them and the other set doesn't fit up there. And this is the SAE version of them, all the way up to 3/4. That sets up to 19. And then we have line wrenches here that are Mac. I think these are all my Mac ones. And then we have a set of SAE all the way up to like 1 inch, I believe it is. Snap-on. Then we have our crow's feet that are up to 3/4 inch Snap-on. And that's pretty much it. Down here we have our pry bars, our pickup tool, adjustable pick or long picks, radiator hose pullers, breaker bars, Mac hose picks, Snap-on hose picks, all the breaker bars from all the different major brands, scrapers, more picks, soft blow, ball peen, long and short. I have all the different sizes of breaker bars there, scrapers. These are chisels and punches, Snap-on, and I have two sets of those. Those are row punches there. Some cheap files, and then my Snap-on hammers. Shout out to Jehu. Down here is the really expensive jar. This is like, people always say they're socket jars, they're money jar. For me, it's kind of like a toss-up. Let me sit down here. Kind of like a toss-up. So I got these. This is a full set of the Mac Precision Torque wrenches. And you may say, well, Jesus, dude. And I got these up to 32 millimeter in metric and like 1 1/8" or whatever it is in SAE. I got these for $200. I remember specifically now. I've been trying to remember what the exact cost was, but it was $200. And this goes all the way up to 1 1/4". And I met a guy and I was buying stuff from him, and he had this set in his trunk of his car. And he had got a new job. He was all giddy about it. And it was taking him out of wrenching, and he, you know, bought all this stuff, and I guess never really used it at the shop that he was at anyway. And so I bought ratchets and other stuff from him, and he had this set, and he says, hey, you need wrenches? And I was like, well, yeah. And he's like, well, I thinking to myself, like, oh, he's gonna probably want like $400, $500, $600 from, based upon what he was pricing other things at, even though I know that they would have been way more than even that value wise. And he said 300, I said 200, and we got the deal done at $200. And I got the full set of metrics and the full set of SAE. I have all the different versions of guns here. I've got air hammers. I've got Carlisle snap-on air hammers, Carlisle or snap-on impact half-inch drive. I've got Cobalt, because Cobalt does make some good tools. I don't care. We can go argue about that any day of the week if you want to. All the Milwaukee stuff, pretty much. I got all the Milwaukee's half-inch, three-quarter, or half-inch drive, high torque, mid torque, low torque, no torque. I got all of those. I got the Matco Infinium half-inch drive. I've got all the snap-on CT761s and the 561s and the quarter-inch drive drill guns. And now recently I came into some DeWalt stuff. So now I got the 20-volt DeWalt series. I've got the hammer hammer drill, and then I think one is in the house because the wife's using it. I got torque wrenches down here, Mac torque wrenches, snap-on torque wrenches, or Mac, Matco, and also tools. So I've got beam style and I've got click style. I've got a power probe down here, which I'm still learning to use. I've got a couple other precision tools. I've got more wrench sets down here, like double box end wrench sets and some stuff that I don't really use very often. Some of the old Craftsman USA Professional Series wrenches. I've got a full set of those. Hey, Shop Cat. I've got a set of Capri double box ends, the newest ones they've got. Really, really nice. I've got a full set of ball peen hammers down there. I got this metric set and a SAE set of flex head wrenches. I got these from Home Depot because I had to return a bunch of crap after remodeling my house, and they didn't want to give me cash, so they gave me in-store credit. So I just turned around and bought some stuff that I could add. And I bought those because I had sold my Matcos and I felt bad that I'd done that, and I missed them, and so I ended up buying those sets there. So that is the heart and soul of the hand tool stuff. Over here in my little cart, I've got a bunch of random stuff here. This is like the nuts and bolts and stuff drawer that people have in their box. I just use my cart for that, and I've got drill bits and body tools. I do a lot of body work. I got a picture of, I think it's my wife when she was a kid. I don't know. Then I've got, just a bunch of stuff. Air cutoff tools, grinders, polishers, body clip, panel clip tools, or little pieces, plastic pieces. And I've got more impact guns here. This is one, you can tell I use this all the time. This thing's just a simple 12 volt, but she's great for doing interior stuff. And then I've got some more sockets here. I don't know what that's doing in there. This is an old East Coast USA East Coast set that I picked up in one of my trips to Florida with the family. I found this set there, 12 points. Bought that from a pawn shop. I always make sure whenever I travel somewhere, I try to find a pawn shop and go in, because sometimes you find good stuff that you can't find in your own area. So, set of old SK impact sockets. They're never gonna break, ever. And then my Irwin. Somebody asked me about these. These are just the Irwin drill bits. Really good set. We're slowly breaking them, but we're holding on to the very end. And then I've got case tools here. And I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna go because this video is already super long. But here's my side cabinet here. I think it's like 18 or 19 inches deep or wide, and then however deep, 22 inches deep or something like that. And all my case tools. So I do some diagnostic work. I'm not a diagnostician, all right? That's, if I have something that's diagnostic related, I'm gonna ask CP the Tool Addict. I'm gonna ask Justin Dow. I'm gonna ask Autobahn Dan. Autobahn Dan actually helped me fix my BMW one time. So I'm gonna reach out to people who know. Don't be afraid. That's what this community is all about. So you don't have to be a pro at anything. You can just ask a question and people will be more than happy to tell you that you're wrong and how to do it right. So, but But yeah, so all my case tools here, anything from, you know, sockets, you know, like mid-length Torx and hex, and then bits and extractor tools, and you know, wind back, caliper wind back for brakes on your car, multimeters. I even got scan tools in here. I got the axle nut sockets down there. I mean, I got a lot of different cool things in here. I try to have enough. I've got a computer that's uploaded with different software, which is my Panasonic Toughbook right here. It's got a lot of different automotive software on it, including Power Commander software for programming my motorcycle, which I do all the programming. I don't like to necessarily say I race the bike per se, but she is a little bit rowdy. You guys want to hear it? If you're here this long, you deserve to hear it. Shop Cat, you might want to run, buddy. All right. Make sure she's in neutral. There we go. So she's a little rowdy. She's dirty right now. Look at her. She's dirty. Gonna get her cleaned up at some point in time. And then I got stuff down here, you know, extra wrenches, you know, stuff like that. You know, caliper hangers, you know, Top Done battery testers and Blue Point battery testers. Then my little Innova scan tool, quick read scan tool. Then a couple wiring harnesses, blades, and more. Oh, that's not supposed to be in there. Yeah, I got another one of those drill bits I can put back in its proper location. And just different greases and stuff like that, breaker bars. So yeah, I mean, for a DIYer, we're pretty much set up pretty good. And then I've whatever battery tools that I can't keep in the box, I got them up here. They hang up there. Oh, and here, I'm going to post this video. It's 36 minutes long, but we're still going to do it then. We're still going to send it. And here, we've got my Snap-on nut drivers and a bunch of different bits and stuff like that. Little Snap-on double box end set there for quick grabs. All my 1/2-inch drive big boy ratchets are on this back wall, as you can see. I just keep them back there prominently displayed, and I grab them as I need it. I do have, somebody came in my shop. It's like there's somebody walking behind me. Here's all my other 1/2-inch stuff here. So I've got more, like I said, I keep some stuff up there, and then everything's different. So like I try not to have duplicates anymore. I used to be big on duplicates and everybody gave me crap about it, but now I've dwindled that down. And duplicates meaning that I don't have the same exact tool. It may be the same drive size, but different style. Long extension there, a couple random ratchets there. And this is actually a Snap-on pin. It's not a ratchet, but it looks like a ratchet. A couple screwdrivers there, more screwdrivers here. Some more ratchets here, like quick grab, like stubby ratchets that you can kind of jump on something really fast. We'll keep a couple of those here. 10 millimeter, because you always need a 10 millimeter at your disposal. And then, like I said, I'm doing like little projects here and there. My go-to 12 volt DeWalt. I love that thing. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And the travel bin, you know, like I said, it's got cool stuff in it as well. Yeah, it's a nice shop. I mean, I can get things done here. I love it. So, all right, guys, we're at 38 minutes. Thank you guys for whoever stuck around. I appreciate it. So if you stuck around at 38 minutes and you watched it, the key word is, let's see here. What's the key word going to be? DeWalt 20 volt. That's the key word. The first person in the comment section who says DeWalt 20 volt, because if you wouldn't know it unless you stuck around at 39 minutes, I'm going to send you something from the Midwest Tool Review channel. So DeWalt 20 volt, that's what I want to see in the comment section. And if you stuck around this long, you're going to win a prize. Just be the very first person to say it. And there you go. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.